Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got an interesting show for you. Yeah, we're going to talk about the hot seat that Jimbo could be on if he does not win this ball game. Also, Gary Danielson, of course, says Neyland doesn't make any difference. It's the same as the other stadiums all over the country, especially the SEC. And that's kind of crazy. But anyway, let's get into this first part. We're going to talk about Jimbo and the hot seat. And this story was actually written by Adam Wells back in mid-September. And he talked about how Jimbo Fisher was already on the hot seat this year. He's owed $76.8 million if he's fired at the end of this year. And this was actually an interview with Bruce Feldman, who stays on top of this stuff. And he said, absolutely, he's on the hot seat, coming off a 5-7 record. This is year 6. He said that they would find that money. And they also said, what would another 8-4 record really prove in year 6? So they're very upset down there. They're not happy with the money that they've spent on him. And like I said, that 5-7 record really hurt him. It really kind of knocked him down. So much so that they forced him to get an offensive coordinator. He usually calls all the plays, as you know. So that tells you a lot. Normally, when a head coach is forced to get an offensive coordinator, that's the year they need to get things together, and then everybody sort of lays off. If the offensive coordinator doesn't fix the problems, then they start looking directly at the coach. I think if he wasn't owed this much money, he would have already been let go last year because that was year 5. And normally it's you have 5-7, your year 5, you're going to be gone. But he's owed a ton of money because of the extension that they did. So I think if he were to lose this game, look, they're 4-2. If he loses this game, they go 4-3, and that would be 0-8 on the road the last 8 ball games where they had to play somebody away, any big-time Power 5 team. So that would really be tough. And this is going to be a tough game for them because, remember, Heupel's 12-0 at home. Right now he's on a 12-0 run, and they're coming off a bye week. Off a bye week, he's 7-1. So this is going to be a really tough game. Then we're going to talk about Neyland Stadium because Gary Danielson is not impressed with Neyland. But here it talks about where Fisher signed a 4-year extension with Texas A&M in August 2021, tied him to the school through 2031, fully guaranteed his contract, increased his salary to $9 million starting January 1st. And I don't understand why they did a 4-year extension there. It didn't really make any sense. Then it keeps increasing until it hits like $10 million. And also realize Texas A&M fans are furious about the Alabama game. Him not going for it on that 4th and 1 really upset them. They were on Alabama's 45. He punts the ball. Alabama goes down and scores, and the whole complexion of the game changed right there. And they're really upset about that because that's just that timidness really gets them going down there. And they've not been happy with Jimbo for a couple of years now, and they're getting very frustrated. So you start out 4-3, that would be tough. He needs this game badly, but we need to win this game as well. It's very important that we win this ball game. Now we're going to talk about CB analyst Gary Danielson and Craig Meyer of USA Today Network. Danielson says Neyland Stadium is just about the same as other SEC venues. Says the 102,000 is obviously well known. This stadium is very well known. And of course, they're going to checkerboard the stadium for this game. And it said for a college football preeminent voice, he said the stadium doesn't hold quite a unique distinction. It says in an interview with Knox News' Adam Sparks, Gary Danielson, who will actually be calling the Tennessee game Saturday against Texas A&M, said Neyland Stadium is just about the same as other SEC venues. Nothing special, obviously. Said it's not a criticism, just an observation. It has nothing to do with Neyland per se or any other stadium. Home field advantage about the same every week, whether you're at Ole Miss, LSU, Florida, in the Swamp, or Georgia. Loud is loud. I don't know if it makes any difference if there's 80,000, and I think there's 60,000 at Ole Miss, and it's very open stadium, and then 100,000, it doesn't matter. So Danielson's not impressed, and he doesn't really expect us to be that loud, it doesn't sound like.
Okay, all right, we got served. So now, I guess, it's on.
Oh yeah, it's on. And I guarantee you Jimbo Fisher sitting back there going, Gary, why'd you have to do that? It's already going to be loud enough. Now you've smacked him in the face. How loud do you think Neyland will be now? Oh my gosh. This is just all this powder keg needs up here to just go boom. It might be as loud as Alabama last year, which was crazy. It actually talks about that. It says the Alabama game, The decibel level hit 125.4, which beat the previous record of 118. That's crazy. My brothers were there, and they said it was insanely loud. They'd never heard it that loud. It says if you hit 120, it's the same as being right next to the sirens of an emergency vehicle, which is a lot of fun. And of course, Josh Heupel talked about our entire stadium. It's electric. He says Rocky Top is special. This is college football, and it's absolutely as good as it gets in the country. Said Danielson says, I get that. It's a way of life. He said, we embrace it from a production standpoint, and it's fun. He says, I love it all, the pomp and circumstance and the storylines. Tennessee doesn't have to take a back seat to anyone. But to me, it's just about the same as other SEC stadiums.
How dare you!
So I guess we're going to have to prove him wrong on that one. I wonder if Neyland's up to it. I just don't know. We'll probably just cower down and not make any noise at all, because Danielson's kind of explained it doesn't really make any difference. That's probably what'll happen. And at this time, I do want to thank today's sponsor. That is Eco Heating and Air. And they do have 3 locations in the state of Tennessee. Lenoir City, right next to Knoxville. They can service that entire area. Jamestown, Dunlap, all in Tennessee. And these guys are huge Tennessee fans, big time. And they actually reached out to me, wanted to become a sponsor because they enjoy the show. And they're fired up about the Vols, to say the least. And they're really known for their speed of service. They take really good care of their customers. They have excellent ratings. And they've actually got a special right now. For the next 15 people that call, they have a special maintenance package. And you get 2 visits, a 21-point inspection. And they're going to include in that a special UV air cleaner they're going to give you for free for the next 15 callers that mention Sports Talk Jay. You'll get that at no charge. And that'll keep your air very clean. It's the same kind of air cleaner they use in hospitals. So that's part of the package. And it's really important that you take care of your heat and air, because in the summer and the fall when it gets really hot, it's just nothing worse than your house heating up into the mid-80s. It's awful. It'll make you sick as a dog. And the older I get, the more important it is. And the one way you can screw up on your HVAC is not maintain it on a regular basis. You got to change those filters. You got to have them come in and clean the system. It's just the way that it is. Or you're going to wind up with a huge bill, which I've had happen to me in the past. I've told you folks about this. I didn't maintain my unit, had to replace it, $8,000. So don't be like me. Call the man.
Just call the man. Just call the man.
Exactly. Sometimes you just got to do the right thing and take care of your stuff. And don't be like me, and don't be like Aunt B.
Why didn't you call the man?
I should have called the man like you said.
That's right. Call the man and let them take care of your system. They'll do a great job, and you'll be happy you did. All right, folks, this is an exciting game coming up. And I tell you what, Jimbo needs to win this, or he will almost certainly be on the hot seat. And Gary Danielson, I think you're going to find out come Saturday there is a difference between stadiums, because, man, Neyland at 3:30 is going to be waiting for you. And your buddy Jimbo, I'm sure, will be thanking you for that comment. Anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover the Vols and all our opponents and all that good stuff. If you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just hit that little button. I would appreciate it. And right over here's the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll love. And by the way, I'm going to be on BVD's channel tonight at 8 o'clock. I almost forgot to tell you all that. And that's a Big Vol Daddy. I'll be on there at 8. And right over here's the most recent video that YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.